Hey, whilst Dragon Metals here, today I will be getting the third stage on some Sector Mechanicus buildings. That is this. So we have a support column, lots of details on there which will need to be filled in. These are already at stage 2, they've been dry brushed with a gunmetal colour. Next I will be adding all the weathering, which will be two different dry brushes. So, very nice boiler there. That'll take quite a time to paint. Should probably take multiple stages. Also have a crane and a fan bulkhead thing. Once this is fully painted, which will be a few videos, I will most likely assemble it all and put it on a base with some funky models and showcase it all. Should look fantastic with all the gantries and such. So, let's dry brush on the olive green first. This does look messy, but it's meant to. Need to get more on this brush. It's very dry, this stuff. That's better. Gotta smoosh it all over. Quite a bit. It'll look quite messy when done, but it's supposed to. It's just weathering. It's like aged paint and stuff. It goes for a sort of gothic industrial look. By painting it the way I do, it fit in with all sorts of different types of terrain, really. Sort of similar to just painting it metal and covering it in a brown wash. But this has slightly more depth and detail, as I will be painting lots of these pipes different colours, as well as all the cables. They will all be red and green, blue and green. Might do some of them red, I'm not sure. We'll see. Oh, lucky bunny rabbit. She's under me. She likes to join in when I'm painting. She's always sitting under me or next to me. She's a very good girl. You're lucky. Although I look after her well. She's my house bunny. Much better pet than other animals, I think myself. So just dry brushing all over, messily. Get green all in these crevices. Also on the sides now. It's going to take a while of dry brushing this. This is only the first dry brush of that. Try not to hit components like this boiler, which will be a more metallic colour. Do want to get in the edges though, just underneath it. Damn it, losing a bristle there, lost a bristle. That will happen with dry brushing. It's terrible for brushes, which is why I'm using this old brush, which is actually already missing bristles. Don't use a new brush to do dry brushing. You will screw it up majorly. As you can see, I'm not painting, I'm splashing it about messily, which is terrible for brushes. These stages do indeed look messy. And I have to do this on all of these, but in different places on each one. Actually not doing the whole boiler, only several different components. Because the rest will be either gold or metal coloured, gunmetal coloured. Although the gold will be more of a bronzed, burnished sort of gold. Great for that boiler. As you can see, I'm catching all the edges, making sure lots of paint comes off. There's the desired effect with dry brushing. Do get some on your hands while doing this, naturally. Try and get some in that gap. There we go. As well as on the inside. Must not forget the inside. The support arch. This actually supports multiple gantries, and these bulkheads clip onto them, as do the cranes and lots of cables and other doodads. I'll be covering them in cargo also, which I made a long time ago. Which includes things like fuel barrels, ammo crates, tank traps, all sorts. Cool stuff guys like, I suppose. It was made when I was a teenager. So, very long time ago. But a lot of it is in good condition, as I was good at keeping stuff. Still trouble with that one. Need to get some. We're running low on paint there on this dry stuff. There's a gap in the bottom. Knew it wouldn't last. Do need to get more of this type paint. It's olive drabby type stuff. I do use a lot of it, as I generally paint Imperial, Astra Militarum, stupid name that they now call Imperial Guard. I prefer the old name, more accurate. Ooh. It's nice and gungy amount on that. Catch all the edges, try and get some in the gaps. There's a dry brush though, so it doesn't matter if it all goes on. There's another colour will be over the top of that. That being scorched brown. Or burned brown. Only this edge now. The bulkhead and cable thing won't use much. Actually running low on this colour. Hoping there's enough to finish this. A little bit of water in there. Mix it around. If I can get some more liquidity to it, I can. Very, very dry indeed, this pot. I've had it a long time, as I generally dry brush with it. I don't really paint it on, so I never added any water to it or paid any attention to its care. Unlike a lot of the other paints, I water down. Keep in good condition. Paint costs money. And these paints generally ain't that cheap either. Okay, that's dry brushing the first layer on the arch done. The support arch. Missed some on that edge. Typical. I am painting at night using a lighting rig, however. Which is pretty good. One of my subscribers actually got me it. You know who you are, thank you. It's actually very useful in winter. Though it's kind of warm at the moment, unseasonably. I expect large storms to come after this hot October weather. I know, hot and October doesn't really mix. Quite watery, this mix I've made. There seems to be quite a bit of paint left in there, that's good. Getting nice coverage there. On the sides too. Trying to get through this fast, so I'm dry brushing quickly, as you can see. There's lots to do. And this is only the first layer of dry brushing. Although this weathering is necessary to make it look like my rest of my stuff. It's very neat when it's completed. Very nice effect. You'll see. Keep following and watch the other parts of this painting. Sector Mechanicus boiler, support arch, bulkhead and crane. I'll do nicely. Crane next. Now I don't want all of this, I only want the rims done. A lot of the parts on this I will in fact be doing metal or gold. Like the inner side parts I'll actually be doing gunmetal, so I need to leave that in order to use less paint. Unavoidable in some parts getting paint on these while dry brushing, but I will be a touching up phase or stage, whatever you want to call it. Generally painting stages though, I suppose. Okay, that's that side of the crane dry brushed. Next side. A lot of dry brushing can be laborious, but nowhere near as laborious as painting this with individual lines and highlights, which can take a very long time indeed. 3 to 4 times as long. So a lot of people dry brush stuff this large, or buy an expensive brush spray gun to spray the paint upon these things. So big boiler next. A lovely piece. Lots of details on that. I'll probably be doing that gold along with these fan outlets and probably keep some of that metal. It'll be very nice anyway once completed, as I want to paint it to the quality of my other ones, which means it's going to have to be pretty good. Very watery this, but that's okay. Damn it, some's going on the outside, I don't want that, I want to save paint on that, but there will be a touching up stage, as I did mention. Right, in this gaps here. It looks very messy, I know. But same as the Planetary Empires tiles, it all looks quite messy until I apply the final few stages, and then it brings it all together. Little bit of background tunes going on to help me concentrate. Barely hear them though. Where's my paint? There we go. See what components I'll be painting. A lot of the armoured plates and the in-between components. There will be a massive amount of metallic components on this also. I'm actually only doing the boiler itself in weathering, which is all underneath all this massive amount of pipes and these things and all the rivets. This thing's absolutely covered in huge amounts of rivets. which I will pick out, and that will be a different stage. That will be when I apply washes, but also after I've done detailing, which I'll be picking out all the adequate details in silver and gold. That's all the components that I'll want doing, like that bit and all these fans and gubbins and whatnot. Strange mechanical doodads of this large boiler or incinerator. Could be either, hard to tell really. Missed some of these components here. I want that fan metal. I want to round it to be the same colour as the boiler. This rim will all be washed and metallic. So that side is no, still some bits missing there. Try and get in there. Very difficult with this dry brush. I've got some in there, very good. Oh, there we go, cool. Right, this side now. A little bit of water in there. Trouble getting paint out. Running low on this paint I am. Matters not. So I'll likely get a fresh load of paint, so I'm planning on painting all different stuff for all sorts. After this I will probably do something with dudes. A Space Marine land speeder perhaps. An old one. Not a new-fangled storm thingy. One from the 90s. Which should look neat and sci-fi as hell. It's one of them hover type things that you have in old Star Wars movies. Sort of like that. The speeder, that's it, the speeder things. Them things, speeders. An appropriately named sci-fi vehicle. The speeder. Always like them. Well, I did when I was a little child anyway, so they were cool. But I'll paint one up, I should think, because it probably won't take me that long compared to this stuff, which will take multiple stages. Not that the dudes won't. Maybe do some bad guys after that. Or some mechanical monsters or some such. Something different. Oh, bunny rabbit laying down sound. So this is very nearly done, I'd say. It's a bit wet, dry on that a bit. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of this will be covered up in additional colours. That being brown, scotched, as I've mentioned previously, you'll see. There's a big gap there. Got it. So I'm going to get at least a little bit of paint in these crevices. If you're painting this the same way that I am, as you want to achieve the same effect as the pictures you find on my other pages, on my Instagram and such. which is the same name as my YouTube channel, Whilst Dragon Metals. So, shouldn't be difficult to find. You can find links in most of my videos that aren't painting related. Okay. Yay, green stage done. A little inspection of that. You can see it's quite messy at the moment. Missed a lot of the components that will be metalized. And the arch. Let's get some brown on these now. These stages will probably take 20 minutes each for the 4 components, so 5 minutes-ish either way. They're all different sized after all. Palette for this one. This is very, very strong brown, as you can see. Same as the green, splash it on there, nice and thick. Once details are picked out, a lot of this is reset into the effects. You'll see there are examples on my Dakka page. I've painted lots of these already and they come out lovely. Very gothic. Industrial gothic future sort of theme. Careful of that googly plant thing. Got a different one there. I like them things. Deserty cactus plants. They are quite nice them. Back to dry brushing. So this is dry brushing and weathering at the same time. Take a lot of time to painting, obviously. Smallest thing I've ever painted, probably 6mm World War II stuff, which you can find on my Dakka, same as a lot of my previous work. I might paint some in the future. I actually have some left, 6mm World War II models. They are infinitesimally small, they're incredible. It's very fun to paint them at that incredibly tiny scale, but very difficult. You want to see me paint some of them rather than this Warhammer stuff, let me know. I wouldn't object to painting a Hurricane or a Spitfire or some German doodads, a Wirbelwind anti-aircraft or something unusual like that. Yes, the Wirbelwind was a World War II anti-aircraft tank. There's a strange fact for you. Bit of history, military history. It's a very cool one like that. Actually know that from my own watching of such things. I haven't learned it off anybody. I think I'd learn it off my old man, since he's practically a history teacher. Alternate history teacher. But still. And that side's done. Oh, I haven't done the edges. This will be a bit darker once it dries. Just check something a minute. Make sure that is the correct shade of brown. It is not. Damn it. I'm going to have to go back over that. It's a different shade of brown to my existing ones. Look at that. It's a very slightly darker brown. Which one is it? Let's have a lot. Damn it. Paints. Lots of paints. Yeah, it's got to be that. With Rhinox hide, whatever that is. Leathery colour. No issue, I've only done one side, thankfully. Glad I spotted that early. Knew something was off, it was a bit bright, that brown. Oh well, that's not too much of an issue. Right, now back to it. I have to reset that colour now. Guess this piece will be a bit more weathered than the others. Well, if this is as dark, yeah, this is incredibly dark brown. Should cover that up nicely. Yes, it's not too bad. This will be a different, slightly different colour to the others though. Might be a bit off. I know what I'll do. After I put some of this on, I'll dry brush some of that green back up onto it in order to reset my mistake. Doesn't matter if it's too thick. Nor on this structure anyway, besides this plastic is actually slightly absorbent. Which is a good thing. Otherwise the paint wouldn't stick to it. Yeah, that's actually not too bad, that. That looks very muddy though. However, that is the point. It's very nice actually. I don't mind that. I think I'm done something. Multicoloured mud weathering. Very nice. Well, I will put some green back onto that, as I've mentioned. Need to leave that pot open actually. So I need to do all the rest. Need to hustle it up too. My mistake has cost me time. Damn it. Oof, a lot of paint on that. Coming along nicely now. Knew it was a darker shade. Matters not. But good job I noticed it earlier rather than later. That does look strange on that side. We'll need to reset that in a bit after I've done these. Very quickly painting this, as you can see. It's not difficult. Although it is very messy upon the hands, as you can see. Definitely need a wash after doing this. Will I not? Okay, that bit done. Let's continue doing this. Crane piece now. It's actually going to come loose and snap off, I reckon. It's very brittle plastic. Whereas these bits are quite thick, but that middle bit, look at that, it's loose. Maybe add a drop of super glue to it later. On the damaged part. Okay, crane section done. Boiler next. Get this done quickly. I can get back to resetting that mistake on that arch, which I'm not happy with. If need be though, I can strip it and repaint it. But I prefer not to. If I can save it, which should be able to, with some heavy green and more of this over the top. This is only one of a few stages. I still have to do all the detailing. Once I've done the detailing and washes and touching up. So quite a lot left to do after this. Actually do want it on nice and thick. Even like scrape some off. There's a bit of floof there off my bunny. That's now in there. Doesn't matter, it's buried under thick-ish paint, which is what I want. Usually you would want to water down paint a lot. But not in this case, because this is weird absorbent plastic and it's thick and a large structure also. And grime is quite thick. So too much left to do there. Thankfully. It's actually taking a bit of effort tonight to paint this. Although I have been painting them small Planetary Empires tiles. A couple more of them left before I've completed my little set. Should be very cool. I'll also showcase that. Back to pouring metal eventually. Just doing a painting spree for a while. Who knows how long it will continue for. So keep subscribed. otherwise you might miss one of my many videos. I also make jewellery and pour metal. Check out some of my other videos on my YouTube channel, Welsh Dragon Metals. So the boiler's nice and weathered now. Nicely smeggy. Smeg. Dirt. So back to that green. I still have to reset that arch. Hopefully there will be time. There should be. The video usually cuts out at about 40 minutes from memory issues. It's not so bad if I can get some green in there. And I'll go back over with a little bit of that dark brown. I have to reset it. Hide some of the mistaken colour blend. All it does is look okay, but it won't match the other pieces so well. Do intend on getting another set of these, different, and more of them boilers as they look cool. I would like a big stack of them. Be cool if I had like 3 or 4 of them on a big themed baseboard of some kind. Oh, I'm putting brown on again. Paying attention. That's working. Actually, I'm hiding that weird brown. It's bright brown. Damn it, bristles are coming off this. As I said, use an old brush when dry brushing, because it's savage on your brush. Right, not so bad on this side. Need to reset this side a bit more. As that dries, I'll put some more dark over that, and it should disguise all this bright browniness. Match it up with the one I have here, shade. It's alright on that side, bit bright on that side. So, need to cure that. Well, it won't be an issue. Okay. Over that again with that dark brown. Anyway, that's where I am so far. So that's the dry brushing stage, pretty much done. Still working on resetting that to a slightly darker colour like the back. Well, that'll be done in a couple of minutes. So join me in the next video where I will be doing the detailing on this. And doing all the metallic parts and picking out all the nice cool bits in gold and gunmetal. Well, see you there.